So 2025 has been a bit of a mixed year for Samsung, I think it's fair to say. Like the S25 series was met with a whole sack full of meh from the internet in general. Apart from Reddit, of course, where the exceptionally well-balanced tech fans declared them smartphones squeezed straight out of Satan's bowels. But then the Z Fold 7 and the Flip 7 showed that Xiaomi was able to take feedback and make big changes to help their bendy phones catch up quite a bit with rivals like the Moto Razr and Honor's Magic V5. And hey, Samsung could be ending the year with a massive bang. And no, I'm not talking about your mum's traditional Christmas festivities involving several drunken Santas and a whole army of horny elves. No, I'm talking about Xiaomi's well-teased trifold, an even bendier blower with a similar design to Huawei's Mate XT. And hey, just this week, even more lovely details have leaked online about Samsung's so-called Galaxy Multifold. So let's have a wee squint at that, followed by the usual mini review, viewer comment shenanigans, and all the extra bollocks that no one ever bothers to watch. Jingle me! Techspert Weekly! So what do we think we know about Xiaomi's latest supersized foldable? Well, in its folded up state, it appears to resemble an exceptionally chunky Z Fold 7. So basically a Z Fold 6, complete with a long and thin AMOLED screen and triple lens rear camera. However, once fully unfurled, the Galaxy Multifold should send your heart racing faster than a triple scoop butterscotch sundae with pork scratch and sprinkles. That enormous flexible display should be over 10 inches in total when unfolded and operate much like Samsung's Galaxy tablets, allowing you to open a variety of windows on screen simultaneously. Handy for those days where I can't decide between your mum's latest upload and stepsister's gone wild. And of course this thing ain't gonna be cheap, so you can expect super premium specs all stuffed inside of a solid, but hopefully still quite lightweight titanium body. It should be powered by Qualcomm's fresh new super beefy Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, so multitasking and gaming, absolutely no problem. While some animations that Tech Highest just chucked up on that shouty Hope Vacuum X show off what the likes of Samsung DeX and some other Xiaomi apps could look like on that whopper of a display. As for the camera tech, well, you can expect a 200 meg primary shooter just like the Z Fold 7, but these animations also suggest that Samsung could add an ultra style zoom for the multi-fold instead of the half-arsed effort slapped on their other foldables. Hooray! So certainly from the leaks and rumours, it sounds like a formidable foldable, but we don't have too long to wait now anyway, because the Samsung Galaxy Multifold, which will hopefully have a less bollocks name in real life, is expected to launch just before Santa invades your home with his massive package to delight the kiddywinks. But the big question, of course, is will this flexible whopper actually see a launch here in the UK, Europe and US, or will they only get a sniff of it over in Korea? Well, as I say, not long to wait until we find out. But in the meantime, are you, much like the Samsung Galaxy Multifold, also extended to a full 10 inches in sheer anticipation? Definitely let us know down in the comments below. And now it's time for Uncle Spurt's Wee One. Uncle Spurt's Wee One. It's a short review, not his penis. And this week my Wee One is the dinkier 41mm version of Xiaomi's clever-ass timepiece, the Watch S4. A bargain at 129 quid? Question mark. Now this compact smartwatch is certainly built for daintier wrists like mine, although I am a wee bit wary of this metal strap with its rather simple magnetic clasp. I'm slightly terrified that any vigorous wrist motions might send it flying off across the room, hence I'm wearing it on my left arm. Touch wood though, so far the only time it's accidentally come undone is when I was putting on a hoodie and just knocked it. And you can simply swap that strap at any point if you want to. And that stainless steel body is pleasingly light and dinky, and yet the Watch S4 41mm still boasts respectable battery life. We're talking approximately 4 to 5 days of use from a full charge with the always on display and loads of the fitness bollocks switched on, before you finally have to whip it off and slap it back on the charger. And speaking of which, it is a simple pogo pin effort. There's bugger all wireless charging support here. You can record your exercise sessions and track all the usual health stats, although my heart rate data seems to be a bit all over the place at times. And that's even when I was just spread out on the sofa, living my best life by binge watching old episodes of Thundercats. And Xiaomi has kindly added emergency SOS and fall detection features to the Xiaomi Watch S4 41mm edition, perfect for all pissheads like me who often find themselves floundering on their back after too many blue wickets. And of course, as usual, the notification support pretty basic. And as for credit and debit card support, well, here in the UK, that appears to be entirely non-existent. But you know, for an affordable price point, if all you want is a lightweight watch that can track your stats and won't need endless charging, then the Xiaomi Watch S4 41mm edition is worth considering alongside the Amazfits and the CMF watches of the world. Uncle Spurt, we won. It's a short review, not his penis. So there you go, kiddies, that's my wee one for the week, and now it's time for another calorific serving of viewer comments. Viewer comments.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
Now, last week's show, if you were lucky enough to catch it, was of course an Oktoberfest extravaganza, so most of it seems like a kind of a hazy fever dream right now. Val Bobasia says, have you considered doing Oktoberfest reviews? Well, funny you should mention that, mate, but yeah, if you want to see more of me wanging on about Oktoberfest for whatever reason, I did publish a vlog type situation over on the Spurt Hole channel. I managed to actually shoot most of it before I lost my powers of speech and balance, magically. Necro Yawain says, if I'd known you went to Oktoberfest, I would have bothered to come over just for the heck of it. It was a bloody good time, got to say. Certainly not what I expected, much bigger and all the funfair craziness as well. But if I did do a repeat visit, I would absolutely, instead of just staggering from tent to tent, trying to find a space in each one, which was generally a fruitless task, I would absolutely just pick a tent, bag a seat there at 10 AM, and then just sit there quaffing steins all bloody day long. It was basically camp there until chucking out time. But yeah, it was just everywhere. Every single lodge tent was absolutely rammed by generally about sort of 3-4 PM. Especially if it was raining outside, you basically had more chance of finding a 5-legged leprechaun than you did a spare seat in a tent. Hardpart 6080 says both, but no he doesn't, that's just me not being able to read. Hardpart 6080 says beer fueled videos equals good videos. Well, that is a spot of luck then, as that probably accounts for at least 90% of my output, although some of my videos are actually fueled by whiskey, Pringles and extreme anxiety. Tillman99 says it may be a shower of shit, but we watch it anyway. And that is why I love you guys, all 7 of you who stick around past the intro. Etienne Sharp says, stuffed full of sausage every damn day. Are you just leaving us to do our own your mum jokes now, eh? After 252 episodes, I think you know the drill by now. iPostays says, hope the good old uncle had a smartwatch to monitor his exercise. It seems like a real heavy glass of beer. I'll tell you what terrifies me at these all-day drinking establishments is that my heart rate was through the bloody roof, and I don't think I had anything to do with the heavy lifting. Why Have a Name says, Uncle Spurt trying hard to make a tech video age restricted. Well, actually, it appears that the most controversial part of last week's video wasn't any of the swearing or the drinking or anything. It was the fact that I left my shoes on while shooting some bits of it from my hotel bed. So here's just a choice selection of the remarks on that subject. Stringfellow Hawk says, shoes on the bed, OMG. To which Jed Bullet replies, I know right, shocking. Bonus Baby says, I don't even walk on my carpet with shoes on. XL Judas says, when I was little, I remember seeing an episode of Mr. Bean where he lays down with his shoes on the bed. I thought that was impossible, but apparently it's something that happens in the UK. And Ryuno says, shoes on bed? Ooh, Uncle Spurt, you nasty. I didn't realise this was such filthy, depraved behaviour. Maybe this is going to be the new Pornhub category, stepsisters and siblings in general, right out. Instead, it's leaving your shoes on in bed. I mean, to be honest, I probably wouldn't do it in my own bed. It was probably just because it was a hotel bed. Is that worse? I don't know. I mean, it sounds like I do not give a shit at all, but I do honestly try and keep my hotel rooms as clean and tidy and lovely as possible. So, I don't want to piss off the cleaner and have them jizzing in the hand soap in revenge. And let's face it, shoes on the beds might not be great, but, it's not exactly rock stars hoying TVs out their window, is it? And the only part of my hotel room that ever gets smashed is the minibar. Anyway, feel free to discuss further down below. Phil G says, I've just found out that my new work phone is going to be an iPhone 16e. What the f***? They've bought over 200 of the things. Are they like actively trying to get their entire workforce to quit to avoid paying redundancy or something? I'd be straight onto bloody HR for workplace abuse, mate. I'd rather have my manager surreptitiously finger me by the kettle rather than hand me a bloody iPhone 16e. Thinking Fox 1 says, Uncle Spurt, please review retro phones from back in the day and get absolutely shit-faced while doing so. I would absolutely love to do some sort of nostalgia, looking back in time at banging classic smartphones type thing. You know, crusty tech twat rants about when phones used to actually be good while quaffing endless 10-inch super. But sadly, there are so many shiny, new, and not quite as good smartphones to cover that I have absolutely bugger all time for nostalgia, beyond occasionally getting all misty-eyed at ZX Spectrum games on this bloody show. And speaking of being a miserable old Momo Michael says, holy shit, an abacus mention, gosh, we're f***ing ancient. I'm feeling it more and more every day, mate. Yesterday, I actually injured my bloody hand just opening my bag. Just the physical exertion of squeezing in the little clippy thing. Jesus Christ. I just need to embalm myself in lager right now and be done with it. And this is lovely. Sid34527 simply says, hi old man. And on that charm and cheery note, I'm off to treat myself to a little sit down cry in the shower. But hey, a massive thanks to everyone who commented last week, even Sid, and even all those people who basically just had a go at me for wearing shoes in bed. Please do tappity tap your thoughts, comments, abuse, etc. down below, and we'll get through as much of that as possible next week. And speaking of next week,
Next week, what the f*** is next week?
well, no actual launches next week, thank the baby Jesus, but on Wednesday there is an embargo lift on a certain bendy bugger, as well as their headphones and wristwear as well, so you might want to come back for that one if you give any f***s. But even if your f***s to give sack is well and truly empty, well, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell anyway, because it'll cheer up one miserable old baldy twat. Come join me again next Friday, same time, same place for another shower of this shit. Got the old sensor bleep machine going into overdrive at the end of this episode. And have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful weekend. Cheers everybody, love you!